Hello, my name is Judge Kathleen Feeney. I'm part of the Kent County Circuit Court Judge in the Family Division, and I've been doing this work for over 21 years now. I'm here today to talk to our biological parents who are dealing with cases involving medically fragile children. These are really difficult cases for the families, for our kiddos, and for the court and everybody who's involved with them. And there were just a few things that I thought that I would mention today to try to help the families understand kind of the process. When we are all in court, it doesn't matter whether we're there by Zoom or otherwise, we have to conduct ourselves appropriately, dress appropriately for the occasion. We'll require everybody to make sure that you're wearing appropriate clothing and you are not wearing hats or caps or things like that because we can't have those on in the courtroom. We'd ask that you not smoke or do things like that as well. Again, consider yourself to be in the courtroom, even though you might be on Zoom. You also have to understand that we are there to conduct a lot of business. We have a lot of information to get through. And so there will be opportunities for you to converse with your attorney if you're there. And we want you to be able to do that even during a Zoom conference. Some of our attorneys and clients have been sitting together and wearing masks if they're in the same room. And others have been on separate Zoom platforms or separate Zoom rooms. If you need to talk to your attorney at any time, you can just ask and we'll put you in a breakout room in order to do that. If you need to pass notes or things like that during a hearing, if you're in person, that's fine too. Lots of times it gets kind of a situation where you might think it's necessary to speak out a question that's being asked of the case manager or somebody else, but we'd ask that you not do that. We're trying to create a good record. Which is the recording. Everything in the courtroom is recorded. And so we can't have people talking over each other because it makes it really difficult for us to transcribe all of that talking over each other later on. So if you do need to talk to your attorney, you can either slip them notes, keep a notepad, ask questions that way. You can ask to be in a breakout room with them. You can text them. We have parents texting their attorneys during the hearings, and that's a good way to get a hold of your attorney if you're, again, on Zoom and not in the same physical room. But we ask that people kind of raise their concerns with their attorneys, meet with them perhaps before the hearing to talk about what the report recommendations are going to be. And that way you can be prepared and know what to expect when the hearing is coming up. You should have already talked to your case manager about what their recommendations are going to be as well. Because we want you to be in the hearing and participating and being a part of everything that's going on. Those hearings are as much to review the child's medical situation as to review your progress with your case treatment plan. And in many of our cases, the parent agency agreement is rather long and has a lot of different sections to it. We ask the case managers oftentimes to break that down into a easier to understand parent agency agreement, and you can ask your case manager to do that if that would be easier for you. Some of our court orders, I always have one portion of our court orders where I list all the highlights of the things that need to happen in the parent agency agreement. So please make sure that you work with us and you let your attorney or the case manager know exactly how you would like that information presented, because we want to make sure that you know what is expected of you and what goals we're trying to work on with you. With respect to the courtroom, though, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're all there and we're just trying to go through everything that's happened. You have been working on your story, the appointments that you make, the appointments that you've missed, the sessions that you've attended with your counselor, the sessions you haven't attended with your counselor. You're writing that story of your life and hopefully that story of reunification with your child. So it's really important that you be there, be prepared, be properly dressed and ready to go. With these medically complex cases and medically fragile children, there are a lot of medical decisions that have to be made. I want to impress upon all of you the importance of making all of the medical appointments possible. Our kids might have lots of different ologists. They have neurologists and nephrologists and gastroenterologists and everybody else who's working on their case. And it's really important that you make it a priority to attend all those doctor's appointments. If you can't physically be there, ask if you can call in or you can Zoom into the appointments, because it's really important for you to know exactly what's going on with your child. I would urge you to keep a journal, even a notebook, that you write down questions in between doctor's appointments or during a doctor's appointment. You can take notes about some important things that are listed, or if there's something you're not sure about, write that down and ask the question either the doctor or the nurse who comes in after the doctor leaves the appointment, or of the case manager, and they can get that question answered. But it's very, very important for you to know what's going on with your child and you to be a really active participant in those doctor's appointments. As you know, it's hard for somebody else to tell you, well, this is what happened at the doctor's appointment, or that's what happened at the doctor's appointment. So please listen to that. It's really important also, a lot of our parents who use nicotine and they're smokers. We have a lot of kids who are on respirators and things like that, and they can't be around people who smoke or even the smoke on their clothes or in their hair and things like that. So those are the sorts of things you can talk to the doctor about when you're there and get clear indications. But we definitely need you to be there. We need you to ask questions. We need you to be participating and understanding what's going on with your kiddo. With these medically fragile children, some people think that, well, the court's going to decide everything. Well, but the law doesn't permit that. There's a statute, MCL 722.124A, which says that when children are temporary court wards, which your children are, that we can only make routine, non-surgical medical treatment decisions, and we can make emergency surgical decisions. So with respect to routine decisions, vaccinations, do they get to receive certain medications and things like that? We want you, the parents, making those decisions for your children, which means that you have to be participating in the doctor's appointments. You have to be available to the case manager or the doctor's office when they're calling to say, can we increase this medication? Can we put them on this new medication? Can we do this procedure? Can we do this suck and swallow study? All of those sorts of things. And you need to be there and participating and ask the questions and hopefully give your approval for those. If it's a non-surgical situation that's not going to require anesthesia, and let's say that the case manager can't get a hold of you or the doctor's office can't get a hold of you, they can come to the court and make that request, and the court can authorize those sorts of things. But if they're talking about something that's going to require surgery or anesthesia, those are not decisions that I can make, which is why it's so important for the parents to always be in touch with the case managers, with the doctor's offices, in case there's something that has to be done. If we can't get a hold of you as the parents, then the agency, the children's guardian ad litem, has to come in and file a motion to have the court make the decision under the statute as an emergent situation. And then we have to have a hearing. Oftentimes the doctors have to come in and testify. And it takes up a lot of time and effort when those people need to be treating your child and treating other kids. So those are some of the limitations that are placed upon the court's ability to go ahead and make those sort of medical decisions. That's why, again, we need you to be fully informed and involved and working your treatment plan. So I hope that those are just some of the things that will clarify what happens in court when we're coming for all those hearings. Again, we want you always to be with us in court, properly dressed, conducting yourself. If you have questions or concerns, your point person is always your attorney. You should contact them if you have questions. If you have concerns, you don't know what's going on in the case, you haven't heard from somebody, you're not getting calls back, contact your attorney. If for some reason you're not hearing from your attorney, contact the case manager. And then they can reach out to your attorney as well and see what's going on, whether maybe the attorney's out of state or something like that. But this is a team and everybody is there to try to help. You might have a parent support partner or RAP services or things like that. Contact those people too. Everybody's here to try to help. We are a service-rich community and we want to surround you with these services. We don't want to overwhelm you with these services. and we want to help you as much as possible. So please make sure if you are not getting questions answered, you need to talk to people, reach out. And if you, like I said, can't get a hold of one person, call another person, ask for assistance. And then hopefully by the time we come into court the next time, we'll have all your questions answered. We'll have a list of questions that you want your attorney to ask, and they'll be able to ask the witnesses and get good follow-up, and we'll be able to really have good forward progress in our cases. So thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.